Before I go further in this video, I just want to say that um, I've decided to go back to Too Raw for TV. Um, I put this question in the community just to see your guys' reaction, and last I saw, 91% said change it back. They prefer it. Um, so yeah, I think I want to change it back to Too Raw for TV. The reason why I had changed it back to my original channel name is because I was trying to see if that would uh, be effective in getting some of the heat off of me as far as YouTube just flagging me or people who don't like my channel, who don't like my content. So maybe that would get some of the heat off of me. But the problem with that is sometimes people don't pay attention to your avatars, right? They just look at channel names. Sometimes you can just go into your subscription and be like, well, who is this dude? I don't want to be subscribed to him. I want to unsubscribe from this channel. It's like some bullshit channel or whatever, right? Then I noticed that some people who know me as Too Raw for TV didn't really know me as Mike Soil, just interacting with people in other people's chat rooms. So to avoid all that confusion, just going back to my moniker. It's worked well for me. Um, I'm not also just not gonna let YouTube change my channel name. Just just not gonna do it. Just never. It wasn't sitting right with me. So as of this moment, I'm back to my old channel name, Too Raw for TV. But now that I got that out the way, oh yeah, it's coming. Okay, it's coming. So prepare for about a week of me talking shit on this channel to the Stephen A. Smiths, to the Kendrick Perkins, to all of these dudes, Skip Bayless, Ryan Hollins, all of them who have said that Milwaukee ain't shit as a city. It's a terrible city to live in. Why does this guy go from this small market team and go somewhere else and win a championship? He'll never win a championship in Milwaukee. He's not a leader. He's not the real the go-to guy on his team. Chris Middleton's the best player. Chris Middleton is the Batman. Giannis is the Robin. Well, I tell you what, when the last time you see Robin score 50 points in a goddamn closeout game to win the championship? Okay? If there was any game which solidifies who is the man on this team, it was tonight. Giannis Antetokounmpo didn't just show up for the Bucks tonight. Giannis Antetokounmpo didn't just have a good game. He didn't even have a great game. In my opinion, Giannis Antetokounmpo had the greatest performance in an NBA Finals game ever. Statistically, the only game that matches it is Bob Pettit's 50 points and 19 rebounds in the closeout game in 1958 against the Boston Celtics. And that game went down to the wire. I think something like 111, 109 or 111, 110, something of that range. And they needed all 50 points of Bob Pettit to win the championship from the Boston Celtics. The reason why I put Giannis number one, Giannis had 50 points, 20 of them coming in the third quarter, which is a critical, crucial quarter for Milwaukee, when nobody was scoring other than Giannis. And he did it on both ends of the court. Yes, he gave you 50 points. Yes, he gave you 14 rebounds or 15 rebounds. But he also gave you 5 critical blocks, and he played great defense on that side of the floor, whether it was in the paint with block shots. And also, unlike Bob Pettit, Giannis is a capable perimeter defender, at times switching on Chris Paul or whoever and playing damn good defense on them. Now, Chris Paul, I think, did score like 23 or 25 points, but he didn't take over the game in the way that you would expect him to. You know, Devin Booker wasn't able to take over the game. He took DeAndre Ayton out the game because he imposed his will this time. Giannis rose to the occasion. All right. Giannis realized this was a closeout game. You don't want to blow this game and then go to Phoenix and hope that you can beat them and the officiating in Game 7. So Giannis imposed his will on DeAndre Ayton, got him in foul trouble, which took him out the game and took a critical piece away from the Phoenix Suns offense. Unlike Game 5, when I think Phoenix hit 13 of 19 from three, they weren't quite as efficient. But what helped the Bucks was Giannis, who everybody says can't shoot free throws and he's a liability and he ain't got no skills. Well, when the last time you seen a guy who don't have no skills score 50 points in a fucking game, in a finals game, in a championship closeout game? You haven't seen it in your fucking lifetime, and neither have I. And I believe Giannis shot something like 16 of what was he? 16 of 18 from the foul line. So I don't want to hear anything ever again from Skip Bayless or any of these cretins on TV about how he's not clutch. If if Skip Bayless comes on TV tomorrow and he has one negative thing to say about Giannis when Chris Middleton played like doo doo offensively until the end when he hit a couple of clutch buckets and some clutch free throws, Drew Holiday played like absolute shitballs, turned the ball over. Even Chris Middleton threw the ball away toward the end of the game. Yes, Chris Middleton hit a crucial jumper, a jump shot, I really should say. He hit a critical jump shot when the Bucks needed a bucket because they were trying to, contain Giannis and keep the ball away from him. But if it were not for Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton tricking the game off offensively for the most part for most of the game, the Bucks could have won by 20 points easy. And maybe Giannis only goes for 35. But Giannis had to step up offensively to kind of counter the offensive woes that were ailing the perimeter guys. So yes, all of the people who said that Giannis had to leave to win a championship, fuck you. To all of the people who said that Milwaukee's a terrible place to want to visit and all that, kiss my ass. To everybody who discounted this team going back to the Nets series, so they had no chance in hell of winning this series, and Kevin Durant is the best player and all that, and he still probably is maybe technically the best player. But Kevin Durant hasn't played basketball in 3 weeks. Then all of a sudden, all these Net fans, mysteriously became Atlanta Hawks fans because out of spite, they just wanted the Bucks to lose. You know, and then in Game 4 of that series, when Giannis got hurt, I saw people hee and ha ha and laughing and getting giddy. Evil cretinous ass people wishing and praying for Giannis to get injured, hoping it was a dislocated knee. Just evil ass, simple Simon ass niggas, loser ass niggas that wake up and gotta brush roaches out their hair and shit. Just cretin scumbag ass niggas. Type of niggas that go in their grandmama fucking purse and steal money out of her purse and shit. Try to say, you know, oh, she got dementia. I don't know wrong, grandma. Bum ass niggas like that. But Giannis came back. He missed 2 games. The Bucks were able to hold it down. And then that's all of a sudden when, you know, old Abiyoyo himself all of a sudden starts saying, oh, Chris Middleton's the Batman. He's the best player on the team. Tonight, definitively proved that that's not true. Okay? That definitively proved that stupid notion, this narrative that Chris Middleton's the best player on the team was shut down. Not to mention the fact that you started seeing this in the media. Chris Paul and Scott Foster, and Scott Foster, he doesn't like uh, Chris Paul, and he calls he's Chris Paul is on 12 in playoff games with Scott Foster's an official, and he doesn't like Chris Paul. He's gonna do everything he can to fuck Chris Paul. So that's putting pressure on Scott Foster. Well, I should make calls to make sure that the people see that I'm not biased against Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns. So all of a sudden, you saw these wacky ass fucking calls where that alley oop to Brook Lopez was obviously a clean play. That was a clean play. What do they call offensive interference? Get the fuck out of here, man. Devin Booker once again was getting phantom calls, but yet every time he's called for a foul, he cries. He's a crybaby in his ass. Fucking guy. That guy's not. He don't have the mama mentality. Okay, he got maybe the garden snake mentality because he cry about every fucking thing. There's no poison in them things. That's a crybaby ass nigga. Yes, he can score points. He can give you 25, 30 points on any given night. But he cries and bitch and moans the whole time. This is a spoiled, entitled, rotten fucking kid grown up, man. I could tell when he was a little kid, he got his way all the time. He whined and bitched and complained and cried. God damn, boy, you take off your mama all the goddamn time, man. Just cry all the goddamn time. Leave him alone. Goddamn, man. He never cry all the goddamn time. Shit. Man, grow the hell up, boy. How you still playing with goddamn little dolls and shit? Squidward and SpongeBob. Grow your ass up. Take this ball out there and go play some basketball. But despite all of that, the Milwaukee Bucks win their first NBA championship in 50 years. 50. Since 1971. It was a long time ago. That was a long, long time ago. You're gonna have your naysayers. You're gonna have people that's gonna say, "Well, the Bucks wouldn't have won if the Nets didn't get hurt." That's the main thing they're gonna say. The Bucks wouldn't have won if the Nets didn't get injured. Most championships don't happen without a little bit of luck. That's a fact. Most championships don't happen without a little bit of luck. Because to any LeBron fan out there that feels threatened by Giannis and looking at LeBron's diminishing returns and Giannis on the arrival of the NBA scene as far as hierarchy, let me tell you something. LeBron's teams, especially the Cavaliers teams, the second time, they benefited from a lot of injuries too. Okay, they benefited from playing on a week in the Eastern Conference as well. Part of the championship, it does involve luck. But this performance that Giannis had, to me, is the greatest finals performance ever. You can bring up Elgin Baylor's 61 points, but they lost that finals. You can bring up Jordan's 55 points against the Phoenix Suns. They won that game, but that wasn't a closeout game. That was game four. It was a very important game in that series. That helped the Bulls seize, I believe, a 3-1 lead And I believe it's the only game in that series that the home team won. But it wasn't the closeout game. LeBron's 51 points, very impressive, but they lost that game. AI's 48 points, very impressive. The only game that the Lakers dropped in the whole playoffs. That was game one. After that, it was a gentleman's sweep. Look at when he did it, how he did it, and the circumstances involved, and his dominance on both sides of the floor of the basketball. Giannis, in my opinion, had the most dominant NBA Finals performance in a game ever, ever. And let me say one other thing in conclusion. I'm gonna tell you another reason why I like Milwaukee, despite the fact that they have a mediocre coach. Because if it wasn't for their mediocre coach, they would be even better. They wouldn't have. A lot of these series would have been over in 4 or 5 games if they had a coach like Monty Williams or a coach like Nate McMillan. But they're stuck with a mediocre coach. But what I like about Milwaukee, and what I like about Giannis, is that it reestablishes the importance of post play in the NBA. We haven't seen a guy like Giannis, a big man, win Finals MVP in quite some time. Now, Giannis isn't technically a center, but sometimes in the series he has plays the center position. Now, Dirk Nowitzki won Finals MVP, but Dirk was more of a mid-range and perimeter guy. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a throwback to the NBA of old when the bigs dominated the NBA, when it was the common perception was that to build a championship team, you had to build around a big man. Now it's the other way around. I like the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks are reestablishing the importance of post play in the NBA. And that can counter, when done well, it can counter a 3-point attack. So maybe Giannis can influence a newer generation of big men. Not guys who just want to sit back and shoot threes all day, but guys who actually aspire to be great centers and put pride back in the center position or the power forward position or a hybrid power forward center position, whatever. To bring pride back in the post play and not ridicule it as saying he has no skills because he can't shoot threes. He's a fucking big man. And he did what he was supposed to do, which is dominating the paint. These fucking simpletons. He ain't got no skill. All he do is just dunk. You don't score 50 points in a finals game by just being able to dunk the basketball. I saw a lot of jumpers from Giannis too. This is a guy that's worked diligently on his game and it's paid off. And he's not in his prime yet. He's only 26 years old. He's going to get better. So all the haters, get used to it. Now I don't know whether the Bucks are going to repeat next year, and that's not important right now. I'm gonna tell you why. Last year, when the Lakers won their championship, you didn't see any hating on my channel about that. None. I remember when the Lakers won the championship last October, and they celebrated. People I knew celebrating, Laker fans, LeBron fans, I let them enjoy their celebration. They earned it. I never, ever, ever brought the bubble during that time. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers had to still continue playing in the bubble too. it did bother me how the media only celebrated Toronto's championship one time before they went right back into media speculation about what the Lakers are going to do with Davis or whoever. That pissed me off. So I think that people should do the same thing, honor the Bucks, give them their flowers, give them their roses, and give Giannis his praise. He's the new sheriff in town. And this could be quite possibly the beginning of a run. We'll have to wait and see. Now, I know Milwaukee's a small market team, but so are the San Antonio Spurs. But winning gets rid of a lot of stigma. The Spurs were, for large stretches of the 80s, after George Gervin left, they were a pretty bad team. After George Gervin, Mike Mitchell, Larry Keane in that era, Artis Gilmore, they became a mediocre team. Then they drafted David Robinson, and actually were a bad team for a little while. But they drafted David Robinson. He turned that franchise around. He got hurt. They had one bad season. They were able to get Tim Duncan, and the rest was history. Even though Milwaukee's a small market team, they've had this bad perception. Now that they're champions, they might can now attract some more marquee free agents, some guys who want to play there because now they see their chances of winning a championship are greatly increased. Guys want to play on a good team. And Giannis is changing that perception of Milwaukee. I told you guys 3 years ago that I thought this was possible. I told you guys that. And I remember, I'm not going to call any names, but I remember all of you guys telling me that I was capping, that I was going too far. Come on, Mike. We're talking about the Bucks. The Bucks, I mean, they just are losers. They just can't win. And this is what I've been trying to tell you guys. You never know what can happen just because they never ever make an assumption based on your perception. Yes, the perception was that Milwaukee is this team, they're just destined to lose. But I saw in Giannis something special. And I saw that if you could just put a good team around this guy, you have to have a super team. But if you could put just the right pieces around this guy, the only issue I had was Mike Budenholzer. But if you put the right team around this guy, if they get a little lucky, they could have a run. And they could ultimately win a championship. But it's come for Giannis now at age 26. So at age 26, Giannis has an NBA championship now, an NBA Finals MVP, two league MVPs, a Most Improved Player award, an All-Star Game MVP, five All-Star selections, and he's only 26 years old. So the question now is, where would you rank Giannis Antetokounmpo? Now I'm very stringent when it comes to all-time rankings. Uh, he's played 8 years. I have to look at the power forward listing. Again, my listing. But with his hardware, he has to crack the top 10 right now. He has to crack the top 10 historically. And then ultimately, he's going to rise fast. The more production and the more he accomplishes as a player, um, the faster he will rise on that list, in my opinion. Some people might have him higher, but I just kind of reward longevity. Tell me what you guys think, man. And congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks, the 2020 NBA champions. And fuck the haters.